The Gullah Geechee people are the keepers of one of America's most important food traditions, yet many of their most meaningful dishes were never written down. Passed quietly from grandmother to granddaughter, these meals carried survival, memory, and identity through generations. Along the coastal regions of South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, Gullah Geechee women cooked not for fame, but for family, faith, and freedom. These dishes were born from West and Central African knowledge, blended with the realities of enslaved life and later independence. Grandmothers cooked using memory instead of measurements, instinct instead of instruction books. A pinch of this, a slow simmer of that, each dish told a story. Rice was central, not just food, but culture. Many enslaved Africans were brought specifically for their rice-growing expertise. From red rice to purloo, these meals weren't recipes in the modern sense, they were traditions. Okra thickened stews, seafood came fresh from tidal waters, and herbs were grown just steps from the kitchen door. These wonderful dishes rarely appeared in cookbooks because they lived in kitchens, churches, and family reunions, not publishing houses. Yet they fed entire communities, especially during times when resources were scarce, but spirit was strong. This batch explores the foundation, how Gullah Geechee food became a quiet act of preservation. These meals weren't fancy, but they were powerful. Every pot carried history, every bite carried love, and every grandmother knew exactly when it was done, even if she never wrote it down. Living near the sea shaped everything about Gullah Geechee cooking. Shrimp, crab, oysters, and fish were not luxuries, they were everyday nourishment. Dishes like shrimp and rice, crab stew, and fish purloo were prepared without timers or recipes. Grandmothers listened to the pot, watched the steam, and trusted experience. One iconic dish was shrimp purloo, a one-pot rice dish cooked slowly with seafood, onions, peppers, and spices. No two versions were ever the same. Another was okra soup, thick, rich, and deeply African in its roots. Okra wasn't just an ingredient, it was a link to home across the ocean. Rice, bread, rice dumplings, and boiled rice with gravy were common meals that stretched small ingredients to feed many mouths. Grandmothers understood economy long before it became a trend. Nothing was wasted. Bones became broth. Leftover rice became tomorrow's breakfast. Cooking was also spiritual. Meals began with prayer. Food was shared generously, even when supplies were limited. These dishes carry the lesson that food is more than fuel, it is community. Many of these recipes disappeared simply because they were never written. Grandma didn't need paper. She cooked by feel, smell, and memory. And that wisdom lived on every time someone said, "Make it like Big Mama used to." Gullah Geechee grandmothers cooked directly from the land. Backyard gardens were full of collards, mustard greens, sweet potatoes, peas, and herbs. These ingredients became dishes that never had names, just supper. Greens were slow cooked, not rushed. Sweet potatoes were roasted, mashed, or baked into simple desserts. Field peas simmered gently with onions and smoked meat, creating deep flavor from very little. Cornmeal was another staple. Hoe cakes, cornbread, and dumplings were made by hand, judged by texture, not measurements. Grandma knew when the dough felt right. What made these dishes wonderful wasn't complexity, it was care. Time replaced seasoning packets. Patience replaced shortcuts. These meals taught resilience and creativity. Many of these dishes faded as younger generations moved away, relying on packaged foods. But the memory of Grandma's kitchen still lingers. These unwritten recipes remind us that knowledge doesn't always live in books, it lives in hands. Sunday meals were special. After church, families gathered for dishes that took hours to prepare. Fried fish, rice, gravy, vegetables, and desserts filled the table. These meals weren't rushed, they were earned. Coconut cakes, sweet potato pies, and simple puddings appeared on special days. Desserts were modest but meaningful. Sugar was used carefully. Flavor came from technique, not excess. These dishes strengthened family bonds. Children learned by watching, not writing. That's why Grandma never wrote it down. She expected you to pay attention. Food was also resistance. In a world that tried to erase identity, cooking preserved it. Each dish was a quiet declaration. We are still here. That's why these meals matter today. They are history you can taste. The Gullah Geechee dishes Grandma never wrote down are more than forgotten recipes, they are living history. They represent survival, creativity, and love passed through generations without ink or paper. Today, chefs try to recreate them. Historians document them. But the real magic was always in the kitchen, where Grandma stirred slowly and smiled knowingly. Preserving these dishes means respecting their roots, not turning them into trends, but honoring their truth. When we remember these meals, we remember the people who cooked through hardship and still fed others first. If these stories moved you, help keep them alive. Like this video, subscribe for more untold food histories, comment below. Which dish reminds you of your grandma? Because some recipes aren't written, they're remembered.